Good evening. This is CTV News for Monday, February 3rd. I'm Patricia Vallone. Thank you for joining us this evening. A pedestrian is struck and killed by an Amtrak train in Lanham this morning. It happened just after 5 in the intersection of Carter Avenue and Lanham-Severn Road near the Seabrook station. Amtrak says the train was coming from Union Station in D.C. and heading toward Boston when the pedestrian was hit. The victim was pronounced dead on the scene.
I'm disturbed. I think they should probably have better crossing rails so pedestrians cannot use the track as often as they do.
I was just trying to figure out what was somebody doing that early in the morning trying to cross the tracks. Because when I was coming, I was dropping my son off this morning, and I saw like the police cars, and I saw the fire department, and I saw the ambulance out there, and I thought it was a car accident. I didn't know what was going on.
Authorities are still investigating the incident, and the victim has not been identified. Well, slow down or get pulled over. That's the message from Bowie State Police tonight, or Bowie Police rather. The department will be stepping up speed limit enforcement across the city. Drivers should expect to see more officers around routes 197 and 450. Now, Deputy Chief Joanne Preston says data from the State Highway Administration shows which roadways have a high number of crashes.
The data shows that as the enforcement efforts go up, the number of crash accidents that we've actually has gone down. So there's a direct correlation between the two. Just between 2018 and 2019, we've actually seen our traffic enforcement efforts increase by 34%, which has shown a result in a reduction in traffic accidents.
And Preston says the department will continue to conduct speed limit enforcement throughout the year. Well, closing arguments today in the Trump impeachment trial. The session follows last week's vote not to call witnesses regarding the president's conduct toward Ukraine. Senators heard from impeachment managers and Trump's lawyers. Here's some of what they had to say.
This entire campaign of impeachment that started from the very first day that the president was inaugurated was a partisan one, and it should never happen again.
A president who can obstruct and thwart the impeachment power becomes unaccountable. He or she is effectively above the law. And such a president is more likely to engage in corruption with impunity. This will become the new normal.
The trial is expected to end on Wednesday with an acquittal a day after the president delivers his State of the Union address. Well, after more than a year of campaigning, the Iowa caucuses get underway tonight at 8 Eastern Standard Time. And while many voters are split along ideological and generational lines, any of the 4 leading candidates could emerge the victor. Now, they are Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, and Joe Biden. Further complicating matters are new rules put in place by the Democratic National Committee. Attendees can rally behind a second candidate on a second ballot if their preferred choice does not get 15% in the first round. This means the winner in the first could lose the second round. Most results are expected by 11 o'clock. U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen invites a Maryland gun reform advocate to tomorrow's State of the Union address. Van Hollen's guest is Andrea Chambly. She is the widow of John McNamara, one of the 5 journalists killed in the Capitol Gazette shooting in 2018. Since the death of her husband, Chambly has been a strong supporter of gun reform legislation. The president's State of the Union speech is set for tomorrow night.